This is not something you want to do if you have the tank hooked up. So this is a regular garden hose. I'm going to put it down in here.
Welcome back to Living with a Classic. It's a beautiful spring evening here. I just got off work and I have maybe half an hour, 40 minutes left of daylight. So I want to try something really quick. You know my daily Jaguar XJ6, the whole time I've had it, I've driven on the left tank because the previous owner told me the right tank had a leak and that he just ran it out of fuel and then just used the left. I've completely disconnected the right tank. I believe I removed the pump as well, but I know I've just plugged the fuel line, so it's not connected to the system at all. And I have possibly sourced a good used tank, but I actually don't know if there's anything wrong with this. It could just be the seal in the bottom. It could be a fitting or anything else. So I thought, you know what, let's take a garden hose, put some water in that side and see where it comes out. Water's not really going to hurt it because if the tank is bad and leaking, well, it doesn't really matter. And you know, if the tank is good, I'll dry it out and then we'll put in fresh fuel a little bit later, and I'll put in some of those different additives you can take to remove any water from the fuel, and it should be fine. Let's see if it fires up, drive it around the house, put a hose in and see if it leaks. It's been sitting for I think about a week here. I haven't really gone anywhere, or close to that at least. Let's see if it fires up. All right, it was actually unlocked. Oh yeah, I was out here this morning and I opened this up because it would be a nice sunny day just to be able to clear and ventilate the car a little bit. Let's see. Fuel pump. There we go. I'm just gonna pull it up around the house and we'll see how it goes.
I did double check one more time. This tank is completely disconnected from the system. It's just a hose with a bolt in it. So I remember doing that. It was, you know, a year and a half ago or something. This is not something you want to do if you have the tank hooked up. So this is a regular garden hose. I'm going to put it down in here. And the reason I haven't turned it on yet because I don't want to get anything wet around there. So I just want to see if it's leaking out of the tank. I'm going to go and turn it off, not fully, but a little bit. And we'll see if anything flows out down here. I haven't removed this bottom panel because you got to remove the bumper. But yeah, where the bumper is easy to remove it. But I just want to see if it is leaking and sort of figure out if I'm going to get another tank or what I'm going to do. Alright, I turned on the water about 70% of the way, and it's pouring in rather nicely. I don't know how far we're gonna go, but we'll go until we see a leak at least. You know what, we could actually check if the fuel sender works. I could switch over to the tank and see if we get a level later. That could be interesting. Okay. I am feeling wetness here, so I'm going to turn off the water and we'll see if we can figure out what that is.
Water is turned off. Let's remove this. I just don't want anything dripping on the side. Alright, let's see if we can figure this out. It's dripping right there. Okay, it's nothing around the drain. And back here is where the fuel line goes. Here is, a hard line, and that is completely dry. Let's see again where it is dripping. It's here. I can't feel anything in there. So it might be in a seam of the tank here at the bottom, but no, I'm not feeling anything there. Alright, I went a little bit further. Back here, behind the rear wheel, you have an inspection cover with 4 screws, and there is the sender unit. Later ones have it behind the rear lights, but the early ones have it here. And, well, it looks quite scratched up around there, very weird. I'm seeing drips at the bottom there. So when I feel around with my finger, completely dry up top, and it's just dripping down there. Could it be that simple? Could it just be that little gasket in there? Well, I really, really hope so. But that's really where I'm seeing all the wetness. Don't know why someone has scraped around there. Maybe someone's tried to replace the gasket, replace the sender, and something happened. It sort of feels like this locking ring is sitting very far out. Usually, if I remember correctly, they sit a little bit further in. But that is definitely where it's leaking. I'm gonna feel a little bit more. Definitely. I'm going to check through my parts if I have a gasket like that. Otherwise, I have to order them up. I know I have new ones for the train. But if I had one of those, that would be a really easy fix. One other thing I have noticed is it does look like that mount is starting to separate. At least I think so. Or maybe... yeah, I don't know if that is a split in there or not. So this is what it's supposed to look like. So you have a metal piece there, a metal piece there. So the main part of it, being held in the V here, is not splitting. So, I mean, that's a little bit weird. I don't know. I mean, this is what I'm used to them looking like this one. So, yeah. Let's look with I have a phone here. We can just use that as a flashlight. And if you're wondering why I am whispering just a little bit, that's just because not that far away from me, my 7-month-old son is sleeping. So I want to try and get this done before he wakes up from his nap. But yeah, this is actually looking... I don't see any splits there. So I'm not really sure what that's going on there. Let me know if you've seen something like that before. It doesn't look like a split to me or anything. It just looks like a weird thing. Otherwise, these mounts are very easy to replace in place, so wouldn't be the end of the world, and they're a good thing to replace. But this would be a really, really good fix. Before I go down to the water out of that tank, let's see if the sender works, because if it doesn't, I might as well replace it while I'm at it. So I got on the left tank now, which is my usual tank, and I think I have less than half a tank in it, if I remember correctly. Let's just let that go up a little bit. They're, they're kind of slow, these Smith instruments, but at least all mine work. Okay, let's switch tanks. As long as it doesn't fall to 0, I'll be happy. Or, the E. Is it still falling? This is a bit like watching paint dry for you guys, but I'm curious, at least. I don't know, it sort of feels like it's stabilized now. It's not all the way at 0, but I think what we can do is turn off the ignition. I'm going to wait for it to go complete to its resting position. Then we'll turn the ignition on again and we'll see if it comes up. I think that is the complete resting position right there. Turn the ignition on and let's see if it comes up. It's moving. Very, very slowly, but it is moving. I do think we have a working fuel gauge actually. As you may see, we're losing daylight. We actually have a really beautiful sunset. Let me see if I can show you guys that real quick. It never looks as pretty on camera as it does in real life, but it's all orange and purple in real life over there. Anyways, I really love nature, things like that, like sunsets and stars and things, and that's why I live out in the country, so I can see all these beautiful things. But back to this, I am really happy about this. I was expecting a leak in a seam somewhere or something, but if it's just something as simple as a gasket, I think that thing is maybe $2 or something, that would be fantastic. I'm going to order one, and as soon as it arrives, we'll replace it and see if that fixes it. Until then, I'm going to empty out the water, of course. There was no fuel in that tank for years, so I'm not really worried that, there's anything about pouring fuel out somewhere. So I'm just going to empty out the water, and then it should be sunny tomorrow or the day after. I'll put the car out in the sun somewhere, open up the filler cap, and just let that, air out. Otherwise, when it's all apart, we are going to test the sender unit again. I'll just move it up to max, see if it registers on the gauge, but it does seem to be working, so that is a good thing. The pump for that side, I have one laying around. I haven't checked if it works. I don't remember if I have, but we'll take it apart, have a look at it, look at the points. Should be fine. Clean it up, put it back together, and we should have 2 functioning tanks, which is really necessary right now because in about a month or so, I'm going to start going back to the office. I won't be there full time, but I'll be there about half time. And, I do want to drive this car. We'll see what happens with fuel prices and all that because they've gone crazy. As you know, most places in the world, but right now in Sweden, we have the most expensive fuel in the world. So I'm going to do the math, but maybe I sacrifice some other things, not eat lunch out, bring my own lunch, do some other things, and just spend the money on fuel instead and drive this lovely thing. But we'll see what happens with that. Anyways, really, really good news about all that, and there will be a follow-up video when we have a look at fixing it, and hopefully when we're placing that and we continue to fill it up, we won't find any leaks. Anyways, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends. If you're not subscribed to the channel and you want to follow along more adventures with this daily driver and all the other cars on the channel, please do subscribe to the channel. It really does help out a lot. Until next time, I'm Adam. This was Living with a Classic. I'll see you soon.